Hell, be the hero of the bar. Have an Ike's catering order show up right at the Dubliner, and everyone will be your new best friend. Great place to watch. Hopefully Jonathan Kuminga get traded. Hopefully Macklin Celebrini win the Heart. Could happen, Sammy. Could happen.
I'm pushing that train, by the way, as well, after what I saw him do to the Kings.
A great place to watch all your 49ers playoffs games. Of course, national title game, our friends at the Dubliner, just fantastic. And if you lay it, you play it. Play it over on Sleeper. Use promo code Damon when you sign up. You get a $100 deposit match on your first deposit up to $100. Use the link right in the description of this very live stream you are watching. And there we go, my good friends. We got ourselves a monster matchup with Seattle to talk about. And look, Sammy, there's some history on the line here. The 49ers are trying to be the first team in NFL history to go to 20 conference championship games. And what's crazy is how good Kyle is in this round. The 49ers have won 7 straight divisional round games. Obviously, that goes back to Jim Harbaugh. But just look at this right here. There's a little, there are so many stats that are on the Seahawks side. They are the favorite in this game for all sorts of legitimate reasons. Now, if you want to go, backwards in time to find stats that might favor the 49ers, well, riddle me this. Does this matter?
Wow.
Brock is
let's go.
In this stadium that he's going to play in, and Kyle Shanahan is 4-0 in the divisional round. These are not opinions. These are stats. This actually is happening. So, look, let's just talk puncher's chance. I'm sure you give him one, Sammy. Do you give him a good one?
I give him a good one. Here's why. I don't want to throw out the last game, but obviously the last game, 3 points from the Niners. Do I expect it to be different than that? Of course I do. And of course that game was at Levi's. The game was not at Lumen. And week 1, it's so difficult to decipher. What did we learn in week 1 in Lumen?
Nothing. That you can throw that bad boy out. That thing is a million years ago in terms of football years.
Exactly my point. So it's so difficult to really say, all right, that matters. Can we actually even speak about that game? We really can't. It's really just not even worth talking about. But in regards to who this Niners team is, it's more about what happened in Philadelphia. And no, am I the Philly guy? Am I being a homer here? No, to bring that game up? No. Can we say that that's the most significantly impressive win of this season when you consider the injuries, when you consider everything else? Why would it be ridiculous to say that knocking out the world champs in their house is the most impressive win of the season, considering you lost George Kittle during the game?
Right.
That's the most impressive collection that this team put together this season. And there have been other great games. There have been other great wins. But considering the opponent, considering the venue, considering what is stacked against you, considering losing Kittle during the game, I'm sorry. That's it. That game is the most. So now anything is possible to me. Can we argue here that the most difficult opponent this postseason run for the 49ers very well could have been the Eagles in Philadelphia? That is a monster game to win against that opponent, considering what they do defensively, considering your weakness is at their core, their strength with Saquon Barkley in the running game, which set records. Granted, it was a season ago, but that could have been an ugly, hey, we didn't have the bodies. This is not our strength. We lost that game. Had the Niners lost that game because the Eagles figured out their run game for 1 week against that opponent and that defense that does not play the run very well, that would have made sense to me.
What is nuts, I think, about this one, and what was a huge factor in the win in Philadelphia has to be a factor in this game as well. And basically, these guys weren't on the field for that Week 18 horrific stuck in the mud game for the 49ers, and none of this is going to help them offensively. And they have to have a much different game plan going into this week than in that week. I think Trent Williams, who was unavailable in Week 18, is playing on Saturday. That is a force multiplier of getting better in the running game, in pass pro, and everything. And Seattle's defensive line has got like every single accolade that you could possibly attach to it. They get there with 4. If they do send 5, you're even in more trouble. They are stout across the board. But to me, the reasons why we're building hope here, the must improves. The scared money don't make none game plan has to be out the window this time around. Brock didn't have a single throw of more than 20 yards in week 18. He had several throws over 20 yards in week 1, which again is so far away. We're not even looking at that.
But how about this? How about this? And I want you to continue with this, but let's be clear about that first massive play that the Niners made against the Eagles. I don't know what Kyle Shanahan figured out. I don't know what piece of tape he saw to suggest that not only could they hit on one of those, but two of those against the Eagles. That really flew in the face of anybody's game plan heading into that matchup.
Are you talking about the opening drive, big play to Demarcus Robinson?
The Demarcus Robinson 50-yard play, which some people argue should have gone to the house. Why did he get caught? But that's okay. That is running into the teeth of the strength of the Pro Bowlers on the Eagles defense. I mean, there's nothing about that play. There is not a pregame show in the country that said, oh, I expect the Niners to go through the middle on passing plays and yards after the catch on the Eagles in this game. Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell. And of course, Mitchell had a great game with the 2 interceptions, but trust me, Mitchell is worried about what happened on those 2 massive plays that went. The Niners proved in that game to be smarter than everybody else. Those 2 plays, and then if you want to call it the cheese fake, those plays clearly flew at the strength of the defense, and they're about to face a defense that is at that level again.
There's some people who, even in the face of the 49ers doing something good, they just want to make up an excuse to why it happened, because it can never be the Niners had a good play or a good game plan, because Purdy and Shanahan aren't your favorite or cup of tea, so you always got to be making excuses. And I've seen some people say, well, DeJean and Blankenship are overrated. No, I don't think so. I don't think that was the problem. Really good players give up big plays sometimes in the secondary. That's just the entire universe that this league is built in.
And by the way, wait, can we just say this? Okay, so Reed and Blankenship were overrated, in a Super Bowl run, including a massacre against the Chiefs, which was a defensive masterpiece.
Extinguished modern dynasty in football.
So were they overrated there? Were they overrated through winning the NFC East this season in a defense that we can say the offense had plenty of question marks? The defense for the Eagles had none this season based on the strength of the people you're mentioning. The Niners figured something out. And they didn't figure out for the entire game plan. They took those shots. They knew something about taking those shots at that time. And we can make this about Seattle. It's going to be about doing that against the Seahawks. There's going to be an opportunity to score points. When you look at the Seahawks' most important game of this season, other than obviously beating the Niners the way they did 13-3, look at the Rams game. That Rams game was back and forth, scoring all over the place. Now, granted, they proved to come from behind, which is also terrifying from a Niners perspective, because that's a game the Rams certainly thought they had shored up. And that's the reason that the Seahawks have the 1 seed, is those 2 wins. Beating the Rams, beating the Niners on the last day of the season, that's the Seahawks 1 seed right there. So it's between those 2 games, understanding what Seattle is capable of. Forget about what you know about Sam Darnold against the Vikings. He proved to be already, Damon, he is already better than he was without having played a playoff game yet. He earned the 1 seed, which he lost in week 18 last year, and he got to the divisional round this year. Whether he had to play a game or not, that was based on his performances in those games. He earned it. He is ready for something. There's something working for him here.
Those were now or never games for him, and he won them. And this is another one of those now or nevers. And I'm not here to just crap all over Sam Darnold, but the most important quarterback in this game, I don't think is Brock. I think it is Sam Darnold, because I expect Brock to just come out and do what he does. There's very little peaks and valleys in the guy's game. I know that he made those mistakes in Philadelphia. Luckily, they got past them. But I think Sam Darnold is either the guy who wins this game for Seattle by not making the mistake, or puts this game back on the tee for the 49ers to do something within the 4th quarter by making the mistake. He leads the NFL in just
turnovers. He didn't know. The worst statistic for your quarterback is turning the ball over. I've argued with you many times. Remember, one of my just sayings was, I'm done with completion percentage on quarterbacks. I want to know about turnovers in a game. When you're showing me a side by side of quarterbacks, I want to know total touchdowns. I want to know their total yardage, and I want to know their total turnovers. Interceptions, yes, but fumbles as well. Sam Darnold nearly beat the Rams twice this season. Remember, they were lined up for a game-winning field goal in SoFi, and the kick missed, and it was a makeable kick in that game in which Darnold actually gained yards on the play just before the kick to make it a little more makeable. Between the two games against the Rams, where he could have won both, could have lost both also, but 9 turnovers. Sam Darnold turned the ball over 9 times and still had his team in position to win both of those games. That's terrifying. And the other terrifying thing is this. The Darnold that we saw against the Rams in the playoffs last season, what happened in that game? He was sacked 9 times. Can we all admit that that's not going to be the statistic from the Niners? That is not the strength of the Niners.
No.
The Niners are not going to be on Sam Darnold, bringing him to the ground 9 times. That's not going to happen.
Twice. If they get him twice, that would be fantastic. And if they get him once, they needed to be a Keon White doing it to Jalen Hurts right on the scramble that would have changed the calculus at the end of that game greatly. And again, what a well-timed sack by Keon White in Philadelphia. I got Kurt the Chameleon saying, if Drew Lock plays, we don't know him. Is that a problem? It's a problem for the Seahawks more than I think it'd be a problem for the 49ers. There's no doubt about that. There's only one backup quarterback I don't think you would really want to run into, and that's Mac Jones. Luckily, he's on the 49ers. So I don't think that is – how about this? If you're telling me right now Sam Darnold's oblique gets him out of this game in some way, that doesn't tilt the advantage to the Seahawks, I don't think, in any way, shape, or form. And what is different, and this is what we were asking, or this is what we were talking about here a little bit before we started, we get excited about things and go in different directions here. The biggest difference in this game from week 18 to now is Eric Kendricks and Garrett Wallow at linebacker. Garrett Wallow is someone that no one even heard of before 3 weeks ago. Eric Kendricks has obviously had a long career, and that veteran experience, as much as I like Tatum Bethune, who is a young up-and-coming player, as much as I like D. Winters, these guys in a small sample size look like upgrades, the way that Eric Kendricks was doing a Peyton Manning version of middle linebacking where he's tapping Alfred Collins and CJ West on the fanny, shade over, move over. You got a guy who's been on this team for a month lining up rookies who've been on this team all year. And that's a difference maker, as is Marquise Siegel coming in for Jair Brown. Siegel, who had played one defensive snap since week 12, steps into that game in Philadelphia, plays very, very well, and is now getting the start at safety this week up in Seattle. I think that is a difference maker, along with obviously Trent Williams. And there's one other thing. Go ahead. I see your finger up. Go.
My finger up is for this reason. This Niners team, I don't like the term team of destiny. I don't think it exists. It just doesn't matter. Each matchup brings its own challenge. But what the Niners are doing on defense specifically, considering the losses that they've had, the bodies that are not available for them this season, this will be the most impressive run to an NFC championship game based on what you had week 1 and what you have in the divisional round that I've ever seen. I would love for you in the chat to come up with a better one. I'm talking run to the NFC championship, win or loss in that game. This team, considering the injuries, I am so overly impressed with what you're getting on the defensive side. And we're about to see if Sam Darnold can crack that. But if not, that is what is so ridiculously impressive. And I want to remind everybody this stat, Damon. The 49ers, either over the last 20 seasons, they either miss the playoffs or see it in the NFC championship game.
Not bad.
Period.
Not bad.
Those are the outcomes. Go to Football Reference, look at every season over the last 20 years. You're either going to see nothing in the column of where this team ended up, or you're going to see NFC championship or better in regards to what game their season ended with. That's it.
I mean, it's pretty remarkable. Again, they're trying to become the first team ever to reach 20 conference championship games here. They have won 7 in a row in the divisional round. And Shanahan, 4-0 in this round. So his entire tenure, and this goes back a little to Harbaugh as well, but it's something else, man. And there's just something, I don't know, there's something about just institutional knowledge, even though the players change and the coaches change, there is something about, hey, man, we're supposed to do this that I do think matters. And I think that's where a little doubt could even creep in with the Seahawks. They got all these regular season bona fides that you cannot shake a stick at. But you hear them talking about how much they hate the Niners this week. They sound a little bit more nervous. I was talking about this with Kruger, who was flying up to Seattle for this game.
So awesome.
There is a huge don't sell your tickets to Niner fans thing going on up in Seattle. Make sure they're not allowed in the state. Like, why would what has historically been a very good home field be so worried about this particular moment right now? It just feels like Seattle as a team, as a city, it's getting a little tight here. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it means absolutely nothing when the gun goes off and we kick off on Saturday. How we feel about anything won't matter nearly as much as what's happening on that field. But I just think that there is a very loose Niner team, a very tight Seattle team, and also the gots to have it. I'm calling it another bottle of the Shanahan Estate Cellar Reserve that he needs to pull out, that he only pulls out for special occasions, the Philadelphia cheese fake. And now let's go ahead and see what else he's got. He's got more than one razzle dazzle somewhere in that damn playbook. And I think he needs to do it here. I think he's going to need a razzle dazzle. Just trying to play straight up football against the Seahawks is probably a good way to lose the game.
They're going to have something going on. And the guy we haven't mentioned yet is also Robert Saleh. There are more cutaways of Robert Saleh from that Eagles game than there are of Kyle Shanahan. And that's not to say that Saleh should be the head coach. That's not it at all. It's this combination and exactly.
But he's going to be, Sam. He's going to, this run, what has happened with Scotch tape, Band-Aid, and duct tape is going to put him back in a head coaching uniform next season. If I were, he did interview with the Dolphins, and someone's like, "Oh, great to see him." It was a Zoom meeting. Everyone, calm down.
Stop. It's just stop. This happens to every team that wins the Super. Let's level set. Every team that wins the Super Bowl wins the Super Bowl. So, are we complaining about that? Are we like upset with what happened at the parade? Right. Okay, right. Okay. So the fan base that wins the Super Bowl complain about whatever the weather was on the day of the parade. Fine, we'll get to that. But the team that wins the Super Bowl, what happens more often than not? The next season, do they come back with the same two coordinators? Two. Do they come back with the same two coordinators?
Rarely, very rarely.
90% of the time, they've not only that their coordinator spoke to another team and accepted a job. You think he didn't know he had that job on Super Bowl Sunday? What are you, crazy? This is what happens. This is what happens. The Eagles went to the Super Bowl. They lost the Super Bowl. Both of their coordinators were gone. You don't think that Jonathan Gannon...
Right. When Shanahan was in Atlanta, he knew he was getting that Niner job.
Done.
Which is why I didn't care about blowing the 28-3.
Well, no. He was like, this is perfect. I put him in position 28-3, but now I got to start my game plan for week 1 for the Falcons. So that's what happened. At halftime, he started exactly. So that now we know why. It's a bunch of BS. Every team that's in the playoffs at this point, the league designs it so that you can specifically talk during this time. Now, there are people that think that is not okay and that should not be allowed. And that's fine. That's a conversation for another time. But I'm done with that. That does not matter. Robert Saleh is so invested in this, and he's got the terrible taste in his mouth of what happened when he was a head coach somewhere else. Right now, his resume is missing exactly what's in front of him. He wants to be Super Bowl champion defensive coordinator when he takes that next seat as someone who's interviewing for a job. And that seat might well be in Jed York's office. That could very well be the next head coaching conversation that he is having. And I don't necessarily think that's best for the Niners. I can just say that Saleh is as crucial. We had said this 15 weeks ago, 16 weeks ago. I'm the guy that said we should make t-shirts with the Saleh Shanahan as if it's a presidential campaign. That's how much I believed in what was happening with the reunion of these two guys. And it's being proven right now because this defense is being tested, and Seattle's got real players on offense also. That running game is for real. If Charbonnet, I almost want to say if Charbonnet's in the end zone, the Niners lose the game.
Well, so here's another thing that just, you got to have it here. Kenneth Walker III or Charbonnet. Pick one.
Yep.
You better shut one of those guys down, because if it's Walker, Charbonnet, and Darnold doesn't turn it over, good night.
See you later.
Good night. This cannot be Seattle's running game was popping. Darnold didn't make the backbreaker and have any expectation to win this game other than like, oh, Demarcus Robinson, 10 catches, 225, 3 tutties. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. If you get a Kendrick Bourne, Demarcus Robinson game here, then you win. Yes. If it is a highlight reel of those two guys, then you've won the game.
That's what Rick Pearsall does. Let's see if he's out there even. Let's see if he can give them anything. I keep on talking about something that I think has had to happen since they traded for him, and it hasn't happened. I want to see Brian Robinson Jr. involved in a running game, and not just for we're giving McCaffrey a chance.
A breather. It's
No, I think this is a guy who matters, who has only been shifted to the doesn't matter column by the whims of his own head coach. And let me just say this too. Brian Robinson Jr. has had all sorts of space to complain about his usage. Not a peep from this professional. Not a word, not a peep, not a funny eyebrow raise when asked about it. This guy has really earned my respect as a pro who doesn't say jack that could create a little ripple in a locker room.
I'm surprised we haven't seen this. Much like Philly has the tush push, I'm surprised that Shanahan hasn't designed an automatic 1-yard gain out of Brian Robinson. I am surprised at that. I haven't seen goal line Brian Robinson. I haven't seen 4th and 1 Brian Robinson. And I felt that was exactly where he was going to be utilized. I thought he was going to be smash it through to gain a yard Brian Robinson, that they were going to have packages for him around that. Haven't seen it. So I'm not going to say I don't even want to make a prediction that that's what you're going to see on Sunday. I don't think that it's going to be new to that extent. I think this team has established what they like to do to gain a yard. I love the play that happened against the Rams in SoFi. I thought the short yardage touchdown to McCaffrey from Mac Jones on a quick over the middle out from McCaffrey was the best way this team can pick up short yardage. I think it's the smartest. McCaffrey is that linchpin. He's that difference. Other teams don't have that guaranteed catch by the running back. As good as Saquon is, he'll drop a 3rd down pass. He did it against the Niners this past weekend. McCaffrey doesn't do that.
Crucial 3rd down, by the way. That was a crucial third down.
Brutal.
I was looking at just, if I would offer you this, would you buy or sell? This is what was so frustrating about the Week 18 loss. If I told you the Seahawks only came in here and scored 13, would you put your mortgage on the Niners that they had won that game? You probably would have. What if I could offer you this? Because he moved chains, and obviously getting off the field on 3rd down is just, the Niners are not going to have a sustained 60 minutes of defensive excellence. They're going to have to pick and choose their moments, and those moments have to be on 3rd down. Those moments have to be on the crucial, you had 1 sack, but it came in at the highest possible leverage moment of the game. I thought they did a really good job on Jackson Smith and Jigba in Week 18 as well. Yes. Now, he had 6 catches on 8 targets for 84 yards. Go ahead and look at his game log.
His game log is let's do it right now. Let's put his game log up. He said 84 yards. I guarantee you that's one of the 5 worst games he had this season. I'm going to check it out right now. You keep talking. You keep talking. You keep talking. I'm going to find it here. Yeah. I'm going to get it. Yeah.
To me, that feels very survivable. Do that again. Do that again against him. Upton Stout, I think, is a rookie who is just no longer should even have that rookie classification about him. He's been fantastic. Diamador Lenore is the shutdown corner that the Niners need. They pick on Renardo Green because there's really not much else to go with the ball. Somebody's going to have to get picked on in a defense where you've got two of your defensive backs pretty much doing their job. And I'm telling you, also no longer rookies, Alfred Collins and CJ West. They've gotten baptized by some tough moments in a really rough rookie season where, they were supposed to be the complementary pieces to Nick Bosa. They ended up having to be the complementary pieces to Sam Aquinu and Cleveland Farrell, for goodness sakes. By the way, Bryce Huff, need even more than what you gave in that film.
That was nice. It was nice, Bryce. That was a nice hello, remember me in Philadelphia. There was one. There was a moment.
Even more. They need even more. The Seahawks ran 67 plays in Week 18. The 49ers offense only had 42 plays. Success on 3rd down offensively and some success on 3rd down defensively. It's non-negotiable. Must have. If this is like a 2-to-1, nearly 2-to-1 time of possession ratio again, that means Charbonnet and Walker are having a dance party. And that can happen.
It can. Let's go through. I said that he wouldn't have 5 games worse than what happened against the Seahawks. That was me just guessing without knowing. His 4th worst performance of the season was week 18 against the Niners. I'll read it to you. I mean, here's how terrifying this guy is. All right. So week 1 against the Niners, 124 yards. All right. Then he goes 103, 96. He had 79 against the Cardinals. Okay. Then he goes 132, 162, 123, 129, 93, 105, 167. He had 23 against Minnesota. I think he came out of that game. They also won that game 26-0. Then they go 92, 113, 96, 72 against Carolina. Again, they won that game 27-10. And then the 84 against the Niners. So this guy is 100 when he rolls out of bed. So 84, you damn well better believe you'll take 84 if it happens again.
Right.
That's a great performance. Now, one other thing we didn't mention, and I just don't know how people love to complain. How do we feel about this? How much will this be a storyline should the Niners come out on the wrong end of this? The game is Saturday. The Niners played on Sunday.
You know,
the Seahawks had the bye. Now, I don't know that it happens. Maybe it does. If someone knows better than me, are the bye week teams, and again, we've only had the singular bye week for I think this is the 4th season of it. It might only be the 3rd season. It may even be the 3rd season of this. The bye week teams, the division of the teams that won the 1 seed, are both playing Saturday, which I feel like theoretically is the right thing to do, right? Give them rest, but like limit them to only that many days of rest, right? Don't give them then an extra day.
I think I saw Kawakami was tweeting about this, and he said historically 1 seeds play on divisional Saturday.
Okay,
correct. And you know, here's the deal. Where in sports does tradition matter anymore? I think that this league owes it to fans, to network partners, to have optimal performances. And if you're saying, well, the 1 seeds are the big deal and we put them on Saturday because people are conditioned to watch football on Sundays anyway, so we want to pull them into Saturday. To me, the team.
Well, that's it. Yeah, and that's irrelevant because the 1 seed's never guaranteed to be the sexiest team.
Right. And here's the thing. The teams are not what the star power of this round is the consequences. That to me is why people are watching. The teams come and go. The consequences remain. And that to me is the selling point of any of these. In a perfect world, the Niners would have been put in the 5 p.m. slot on Sunday instead of Saturday. But in a year where so much has gone wrong, how much difference can 24 hours make, again, preparing against a divisional opponent?
And I just want to talk through what would have to happen here, right? Okay, so first of all, there are no dates on the divisional. So when it's wild card weekend, there is nothing at all set for divisional. So there are none of those. You don't know if you're playing Saturday or Sunday. When it starts and you're trying to figure out where your team is going to be the following week, should they win, there's nothing about what day it's going to be. Nobody knows that. Now, secretly, you and I now know that maybe Denver and Seattle knew they would be on a Saturday. It was not, I can say this much, not at NFL.com, not at ESPN, not on the team sites, nowhere did Denver and Seattle have anywhere. There was no TBD, there was no Denver versus TBD set for Saturday. None of that came out until all of the matchups were set. And then we saw that Denver and Seattle were both on Saturday, which tells me, the 1 seeds knew, and the league wanted it to be that the 1 seeds were on Saturday.
You remember Shanahan was asked about this in Philadelphia. Do you think you're going to play on Sunday? And he goes, no. Would we like to? Yes. Here's the thing. Teams know. These teams as to what the hell is happening.
But again, what I'm asking, I'm really asking, what is fair? Is it fair to give the bye week teams one less theoretical day since they already have an entire week? Or is it that you wait to see what the opponent is, to understand that if an opponent or the 1 seed plays on Sunday, you absolutely do not put them on the Saturday? That's probably the right thing to do. But remember, you're also giving the bye week team now 1 extra day, right? I mean, it's both can be considered there. Both can be considered.
Well, and if this is really around they wanted to see what was going to happen in the Texans Steelers games because the Steelers are box office for network ratings, and the Texans are, on the Arizona Cardinals side of the box
How
office.
shocked were you that the Texans were on Monday Night Football? You know what my lock of the millennium was? No matter who the Rams play, they won't play Saturday at the first game of the wild card weekend. That was the most surprising thing I saw. Carolina and the Rams as the first game was the most stunning thing I saw. When the Texans were an option, the Texans have that slot. The only thing you can put on the schedule for the playoffs for sure is if the Texans make the playoffs, they play the first wild card Saturday game, period.
That's their dance floor right there.
Yes.
That's where they start their party every year, and it usually ends there too.
And they gave them Monday Night Football.
They gave them Monday Night Football. Well, here's the thing. I don't think they gave it to the Texans as much as they gave it to, this could be Aaron Rodgers' last game. And stunningly enough, Mike Tomlin's. Look at it this way. We don't know about Aaron Rodgers' future yet. Mike Tomlin, he's like, I'm going to Barbados for at least a year.
And by the way, for that real quick, I just want to say congrats to Mike. I mean, that's no matter what that conversation was, whether he steered it or not, Mike Tomlin gets to now get out of the way for hearing that he hasn't won a playoff game. Good luck to the next guy is what I got to say for Pittsburgh.
By the way, resigning is the OG move that so few guys take.
So good.
And he gets
good.
He gets to put his papers in with dignity. This is an honorable discharge, if you will. The Steelers don't have to put out that awkward press release. No one ever wanted to fire Chuck Noll or Bill Cowher. Now they don't even have to fire Mike Tomlin. He steps aside. And here's the crazy thing, man. I had to look this up because he's been there. So that's forever. 19 years is a football forever. He's 53 years old.
Damon, you talk about honorable discharge. This guy's got all his limbs. Mike Tomlin is a great looking man. You talk about a coach who spent 19 years in Pittsburgh. You want to show me a photo of what that guy should look like and what he actually looks like? Seriously. That's the guy that resigns as head coach of the Steelers should certainly look older than you and I. And he doesn't.
Not a gray hair on that head of his.
Wow.
Whatever he's doing, maybe he's got the Ryan Day, the shoe polish. I don't know what he's going on, but I'm going to tell you, Shanahan has aged like a president through 2 terms here with the 49ers.
Yes.
Tomlin looks younger at 53 than he did when he was 30 something, and he freaking got the job. And you want to talk about writing your ticket? He talks perfectly in 11-second sound bites.
Oh.
He is so matter of fact. I think if he wants to coach again, someone will give him that opportunity.
Yeah.
If he wants to be a guy who just spends time with his family, he should do that too. I mean, whatever you want to do. But these guys, we all know, they get addicted to their football cocaine. They absolutely do. So I bet he'll come back for a toot before it's all said and done.
Why not? Hit the plate one more time, Tomlin. But good for him. He gets to do whatever he wants.
By the way, we got some supers here coming in. Thanks to everyone. Really appreciate it. We got Jorge.
Damon.
Here's the thing. You can go Canes me if you're an alum.
Yes.
University of Miami, class in 92. So respect to that. Enjoy your time in Southern Florida, Damon. But my Canes might become kings of college football again. And I'm just going to say the same thing to you I said to Uncle Luke when he joined me for a show yesterday. If you're Miami, you better win this goddamn game, because if you don't, it's the single most embarrassing loss in the history of you lost a national championship game to a football school on your home state. Excuse me, I do
to
call
a basketball school. Yeah,
that's the thing. We're a football school now. It's official.
Okay,
but theoretically, again, it's just that Indiana jersey. It does not look like a football jersey. It is now. But if the Miami Hurricanes don't win this, holy shit, what an embarrassing loss. And if Indiana were to lose this game, I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna win this game. I think they might even win this game comfortably. But Indiana's, should they lose to Miami, their last 3 losses have all been to teams that were in national championship games. Ohio State, Notre Dame, and then Miami, should they lose to Miami. This is, you want to talk about house money? I mean, Indiana's playing with a level of house money that has them. I'm so excited. I can't
leave this up right now. You're going to be at the game, which is wild. I just want to say a couple of things. Number one, to dispatch of Oregon like they were the team that just shouldn't have even shown up is
By 34.
It's one of the
By
most
34.
stunning outcomes that I've seen, certainly since this playoff came together. To see Oregon just absolutely you shouldn't have been invited to this party. I never expected that outcome. But I will say this about Miami. Miami, Ohio State. How long ago was that, Damon? Was that 02? I'm talking Ken Dorsey, right?
Yeah.
And I can't remember what there was a pass interference call that took Miami thought they won the game, and then it ended up in overtime based on a pass interference, if I remember correctly. So Miami is dealing with that, the scar tissue of having lost. But again, consider the opponent, Damon. You lost to Ohio State, right? I mean, that was like the powerhouse of powerhouse game to have those two teams that particular day. You're right about it, Indiana. I said this years ago when the Phillies were in the World Series against the Tampa Bay Rays. I said at the time, I said, look, in my lifetime, you want to tell me that Iverson loses to Shaq and Kobe and Phil Jackson? I can handle that. You want to tell me that Eric Lindros loses to Scotty Bowman and Fedorov? I'm okay with that. I can handle that. That's okay with me. You want to tell me that the Phillies are going to lose in the World Series to the Tampa Bay Rays?
Evan Longoria.
I'm sorry. I cannot wrap my head around losing to the Devil Rays. You want to lose to a dynasty in the Lakers. Right. And by the way, and at that time also, let me forget. And if you want to tell me Donovan McNabb loses to Belichick and Brady in a Super Bowl, which they did at that time in Jacksonville. So we had 3 losses to these ultimate dynasties. And then the Devil Rays are going to come around and you're going to lose to them. No. This is the chance.
Sammy, no one should feel good about losing a Super Bowl. But to have lost 2 Super Bowls to the Kansas City Chiefs at the peak of their dynastic powers is hardly the pox on Kyle Shanahan
right.
that claim it is.
Yes.
Anyway.
But you said it. But for Miami to lose to Ohio State on a controversial pass interference call, that's one thing. To lose right. in any fashion. And forget about where, because here's the thing. Miami likes to pretend they're the little engine that could here because of the seeding in the playoff, right? And Notre Dame could have been here instead of them, potentially in some weird alternate universe. That could have been the case. So Miami is pretending they're the little engine that could. Can we promise everybody right now? Here's this game, the graphic of this game, Damon, should eliminate the seeding next to these two teams. Indiana being a 1 seed, I don't want that to skew anybody's thought here watching this game to think that Indiana is some kind of favorite in this game. In the world of college football, I just want for the championship game, it's not even fair to have someone turn this game on and if the score is lopsided towards Indiana to say, oh, that makes sense to me. No. Anyone who sees Indiana in the lead in a championship game for college football should be able to say, holy shit, what world am I living in?
It is a whole new realm, that's for sure. And college football hates a usurper. This is a level of college usurping that the sport has never seen before. Let me give you this, though. Indiana's beaten Ohio State, Alabama, and Oregon by a combined score of 107-36. No weapon shall be formed against us. Here come the Hoosiers. By the way, thank you very much, Jorge, for your super. He drops another one saying, go Niners, hoping for a great win against our divisional rival. Thank you very much. We've got Tom, Too Much Sauce, has Upton Stout graduated from rookie status. Yeah, I mean, I think you have. If you're in the playoffs as a rookie, you obviously weren't a sore spot that prevented that from happening. You're having a very good to see year. I think Upton Stout is the rookie of the year for the San Francisco 49ers. He's been better than CJ West. He's been better than Alfred Collins. We haven't seen a single offensive rookie do anything really all year. So that's not even in the cards really. So yeah, I think he's most likely of any 49er secondary player to get that Sam Darnold turnover.
Well, and here's the other thing. When you talk about rookies and saying graduated, any rookie who is in the postseason is essentially in summer school, right? I mean, this is bonus time on what your rookie season was supposed to be. So at this point, if you're in the divisional round, yeah, you are graduated. And the rookie I want to circle, you mentioned his name, Alfred Collins will make a play that matters in this game. Alfred Collins has showed up in massive moments for this team, even if he's been invisible for other snaps, in massive moments. Think about that game in SoFi, what he did to cause and land on the fumble on the goal line from Kyron Williams. Alfred Collins has found a way to make massive plays this season. I expect one on Saturday.
By the way, Jorge coming back in. I disagree that the UM losing to IU would be shameful. IU's for real. It could be an epic game. See, there's a person who's watching. He understands it. Uncle Luke, He was making Larry Bird jokes to me. I'm
Oh,
like,
come
you
on.
didn't even go to IU,
No,
dude. And I'm
come
like,
on.
by the way, if their point is this is Larry Bird, and I said this, he was a bad motherfucker. You didn't want any piece of Larry Bird. So that's a bad example. Anyways, one more thing here from Johnny, Sons of Johnny Lamar.
Great.
He's going to be watching tomorrow's game at Cosm in LA. Sammy, you've been there. That place is unbelievable.
Damon, we got to get you to Cosm. Cosm is such an elite experience for watching a game. If you don't want to go freeze, I mean, for the Rams fans, if you don't want to go freeze in Chicago and you want to go watch the game in the most incredible way, here's the key to Cosm, Damon. It's not just going to a sports bar or somewhere to watch the game on a big screen. Cosm has cameras inputted in the stadiums where they have the games in that dome. They have angles and cameras that no other broadcaster has. So it is such an elite experience for
the rights to have the.
That's what I don't even know. Now, granted, the ticket to sit in there can be hefty. If it's again like the World Series tickets to go see the Dodgers in the World Series at Cosm was a hefty price. But again, you didn't
pay for that Kyle Tucker contract. It's not going to pay for
it. Doesn't right? But you didn't have to be in Toronto, right? You could watch Game 7 at Cosm, sitting around, enjoying great food, drinking, hanging out in beautiful seats. And Cosm also, I will say this for everyone. The beauty of Cosm, what I like about Cosm is if you can't afford the ticket to go to sit in one of those elite seats in the dome, when you buy general admission there, you can actually walk around and get multiple angles of what's happening in the dome as well. It is the ultimate Sunday regular season spot, I will say. And you know me, my house has got the 4 TVs. I think that's the best spot. Right. For me, if I'm not waking up at home, I want to wake up at Cosm on Sunday morning.
There you go. One more here from Jorge, who says, jealous you'll be at the game, Damon. Please boo the orange idiot who's apparently going. Yeah, I get. Here's the thing. Rubio's from Miami. I won't begrudge him from being there. Dickhead is just trying to do some PR. Anyway, we're trying to keep it in one direction. That is sports happiness. And all I can tell you is this should be hopefully a weekend of sports happiness all around. And I think, Sammy, you want to talk about, East Coast bias. If the NFC East had 3 of the remaining 4 games in there, it would just be, let's blow the Giants and the Commanders or the Eagles or the Cowboys. It would just be, they'd just be blowing them. Let me show everyone this. This is how good the West has been. And this makes what Shanahan and Saleh have done with this totally banged up, bruised up team all year even more impressive. Let me show you this. The first division ever with 3 top 2 units in the same division. The number 1 offense, Rams. The number 1 defense, Seahawks. The number 2 offense, 49ers. Wow. And if you wanted to say special teams, I believe the Niners finished 2 or 1 in that category too.
Yeah. Now the Rams were brutally bad in special teams, so I get it. But yes, you're right. Give the Niners another one. And Damon, it's not here yet, and the outcome could be much different. But the idea, the NFC Championship very likely could be all NFC West also. And that's, just to have it there. If the NFC West, we've seen it. And look, 2013, the famous quote from Richard Sherman about Crabtree, a game that the Niners, could have won. Yes, that pass to Crabtree. Clearly, Sherman breaks it up and famously tells Aaron Andrews, you can't throw to a sorry receiver like Crabtree. That was amazing. One of the all-time moments. But I love that this rivalry is kicked up again in this game.
By the way, did you see Aaron Andrews wearing a freaking tauntaun? She looked like she was on Planet Hoth, and freaking Han Solo stuffed her in that thing.
What's so great about that is how much I want that jacket. Now, I don't necessarily want to be on television with it, but to be in that jacket looked so comfortable. I'm just talking about anytime I think about being cold, if I could be near that jacket, I would be in a better place. So I do want to say that I don't know that it was the best thing for television that day. I do think if you've got the ability to have that in your closet, you grab that thing.
By the way, let me just say a really good, my sister deserves an awful lot of credit here. She gave the family the only Christmas gift an ultra fun. It's like chinchilla level blanket that you throw on the couch. As soon as I hit the couch, I'm reaching for it. Jillian's reaching for it. Jack is reaching for it. The 4-year Ozzy's like, I want that blanket. Everyone is fighting for the chinchilla blanket. And nice job, Lindsay. All right, Sammy, I know you got to get running. We always love spending time with you, brother. You know that. Are you ready for today in history?
I am. I only want to say that right now, the Eagles guy I have, and I got it 3 weeks ago. I've got a ticket on the Bills that's worth $1,000 if they win the Super Bowl. I've got a ticket on the Niners that pays even more to win the Super Bowl. Those are the only bets I made for the season.
There you
That's
go.
it. I got a
Lock it in.
Niners and a Bills, locking it in. So that's the Super Bowl that I'm hoping for, is both of those against each other.
And by the way, if you would like to make a play on the Super Bowl, go ahead and check out Sleeper. Hold on, there we go. That's the frame I wanted. You check out Sleeper. Use promo code Damon for $100 deposit match on your first deposit up to $100. By the way, just to show you which way the nation's leaning, Sammy. There you go. There you go. The best shirt I saw at the Peach Bowl was the guy who wore a T-shirt that said, "The name of the movie isn't Boilers."
That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome.
So there you go. And wouldn't it be something if this were the team representing
the NFC?
I think we have possibly an all NFC West NFC title game. Obviously, one of those NFC West teams,
one guaranteed,
the divisional. And now, Old Man Winter is going to be a hell of a defender for the Chicago Bears in that game. It is supposed to be 0 degrees there, by the way. One of the coldest days in Chicago. I saw some weather from South Bend, Indiana, like tracking on my Twitter account. Like the wind, they're getting like 4 inches of snow accumulating by the hour. It isn't even falling down. It's going sideways.
I love to see that. I mean, again, we all remember the game, the Rams game that they all say that they nearly won. The fact that we had snow in Philadelphia in the divisional, I love that. I when the playoffs has snow on the ground, those are the best to watch. I want that. I want it to be that ridiculous on Sunday.
Big Mac, a member for 2 years.
Wow.
Thank you, Big Mac. Calling it now. Niners win 20-17. Going to be watching this game tomorrow from 1919 restaurant in Lambeau. Keep up the great work, fellas. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it. We got to get the Cosm streaming.
Yes.
You're
right. This would be amazing in the Dome. It's worth it.
Watch party. By the way, let me tell everyone right now, the live watch party that I'll be hosting during the game, that studio is already on the YouTube channel. Go ahead, hit like, hit subscribe, hit notify, and you will know exactly when we go live. We hope to see everyone tomorrow on Saturday for the live stream watch.
Before we hit this day in history, Damon, I just want to know, and I should have gone back and seen it, but 4th and 11, what were you? I mean, what was your level of excitement and ridiculousness when the Eagles go to Goddard, Niners are all over the play, bat it down, no flags. I mean,
it was Eric Kendricks. Yeah. Eric Kendricks' hand got in on that play before it got to Goddard. I mean, look, I've been waiting for the shoe to drop for like 6 weeks now. I picked the Eagles to win that game, saying, "God, I hope I'm wrong." I got to tell you, it's hard to pick the Niners in this one, too. But there's a little bit of magic that I just will not stop denying, and I'll say something as crazy. I think the Niners got to score 3 touchdowns, period. I think it's 24-14. This defense gives up 1 more point to the Seahawks than maybe they did. I think the Niners got to win a relatively low-scoring game, but they have to score 3 touchdowns. That's a hard thing to do against the Seattle team. Stolen possession, multiple turnovers, all of those things. Demarcus Robinson just big dicking himself all over the field again. Christian McCaffrey, get that anytime touchdown, and he better have 2 of them. Please get Brian Robinson Jr. involved. No turnovers from Purdy. It's got to basically be a perfect afternoon of execution for the Niners to get this done. Let's see if they got a minute. I mean, to me, there is a bounciness to Shanahan. There's a looseness to him right now, and that's rare to see. So hopefully that translates into something good. Here we go. Today in history, we start with birthdays. Happy birthday to Sade Adu. The band's name is Sade, but it's after her. She is Sade Adu, one of the sweetest caramel voices in the history of music. Come on.
Love me some Sade, and I had no idea. I just learned something about the band, so thank you for that. No idea.
That girl can sing. Yeah. Did you? Yeah, it's like
Sade Adu. I never thought Sade Adu. No.
There you go. It's like Fish. It's named after the band, the drummer Fishman. You didn't know that either, but now you do. Okay. Happy birthday to one of our own, Barry from Memphis, who has just survived a brain tumor.
Kidding me.
Turns 64 years old today. Barry, we love you. You know that, brother. Happy birthday to Kate Moss. No one ushered in the heroin chic look quite like Kate Moss. Thank you, Kate. 52 years old. Although I like my women with a little bit more meat on their bones, if you don't mind me saying. Happy birthday to Lin-Manuel Miranda. Miranda, 46 years old. He gave us Hamilton. He gave us Moana. And if you have kids, you probably
so Moana, absolutely. Can you imagine what the pitch was for Hamilton? Okay, guys, we want to do a period piece play about the presidents, about the founding fathers, but we're going to wrap the whole thing.
We're going to wrap.
Yeah, thanks.
By the way, this guy was never a president. He's not known. He's hardly famous. And what I can guarantee you is nobody knows this story at all.
But we're going to wrap it. But we're going to do it as a wrap.
Right.
You guys just get back to me. Let me know what you think. I mean, what? That is the toughest sell I've ever heard in my life. And look what he's done with it.
It was phenomenal. I've seen it. I mean, I saw the touring thing when it got to San Francisco. It was outstanding. It was outstanding.
Tip of the cap.
Albert Pujols, 46, and Mr. Is He Elite himself, Joe Flacco, 41 years old today. Like I told you, Sammy, every great play, every great, ruler throughout history, moment in time needs a nickname. I'm not saying it was a good guy, but today in 1547, Ivan the Terrible crowned himself the first Tsar of Moscow. Ivan the Terrible, I mean, outside of Alexander the Great, that's about as
pretty good. Yeah, the Terrible's pretty dumb. Yeah, I'm staying away from that guy. Yeah. Guys, how's Ivan feeling today? I don't think it's a great day to ask him. I wouldn't go in there right now. Yeah.
He's not Ivan the Mediocre.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think, this is not the best day to ask for a day off. Yeah.
Today in 1919, the 18th Amendment to the Constitution prohibited the sale of alcohol, and needless to say, we back, baby. I'm taking a bottle pull right here.
Let's go.
Prohibition, you sucked. I'm glad we got rid of you. Screw you, Prohibition.
No, we won. In the end, we won. We won that. Done. That's great, D.
Well, I just Irished up my coffee. Hold on.
There you go. Now a sip. That's the right way to do it, D.
Woo! All right. I don't want to say that we invented instant replay today, but it was a step.
Okay.
It was a step because today in 1936, the very first photo finish camera was installed at Hialeah in Florida, the racetrack. So today, happy birthday to photo finishes. It's certainly a term that we use in the lexicon because of this moment in time. And I think this is the first example of human eye didn't catch it. Let's go to the tape.
And by the way, I'm all for it. I do yell. I can't stand instant replay. I'm sorry. I can't stand replay review for offsides in hockey. That's the only one. Everywhere else in the world, if you can take a photo of something, social media wise, if any fan can take a picture of something to show that something is incorrect, that during a game was called the other way, we should have the ability to go back and make it right. Period. End of conversation. That's how I see it.
What do we got here? Dude, you quit watching Fox, okay? Silent. Is San Francisco safe to visit? Academy of Science. Dude, first, I take my kids to the Academy of Sciences once every 2 months. It's fantastic. Golden Gate Park is fantastic.
Love
Come on. Seriously. Thank you for the super. Let's see here. Today, in 1963, Los Angeles opened Whiskey A Go Go, which has actually been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a venue, as an iconic venue. I don't think we get the Doors without Whiskey A Go Go. We certainly don't get the hair metal era without Whiskey A Go Go. So I've never gone to Whiskey A Go Go. I will get there sometime, somehow, some way.
I ended up there with Joel Prisbilla. Joel Prisbilla is a huge Doors fan, and Prisbilla is like 7 feet tall. But
I was about to say, why do I know that name?
You do it. You know it. He ended up. He was with the Bucks and the T-Wolves. You know him. He played in the league for sure, and he was a star. I think Minnesota is where he went to school. But Prisbilla is like a 7-footer in the NBA. He's actually He's like best friends with Aaron Larsoul. Best friends when they were in Portland. He was in Portland. They were in Portland together. They became best friends. Bottom line is I was there at Whiskey A Go Go and we were chasing like a whole Doors tour that night because he's such a big Morrison fan. So yeah, there you go. Whiskey A Go Go.
There you go. Today in 1973, last episode of Bonanza aired on NBC, 14 seasons, quite a run. Today in 1976, the single most Caucasian-y program ever debuted. It was the Donnie and Marie musical variety show on ABC. That thing is whiter than Wonder Bread. Holy shit. Today in 1979, the BBC landmark nature series Life on Earth, presented by David Attenborough, who I believe has become Sir David Attenborough.
Yes, for sure.
First time shown on BBC. Of course, that gave us Planet Earth and all those great. I'm a sucker for a nature documentary.
Can I just say that the entire, I know Blu-ray is no longer a thing, but the entirety of Blu-ray was sold to me on the Planet Earth DVD series.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I can get that to look that way on my TV. What do I need to buy?
Yeah, I get it's and I remember looking at it on what was it, PS4. Well, that was my first Blu-ray player. Right. Let's see. Today in 1984, Paul and Linda McCartney got arrested in Barbados for possession of marijuana. Yeah, Paul, he's still twisting it up to this day. And finally, today in 1991, what a moment for television journalism. Today in 1991, the Persian Gulf War began. It was our very first officially televised war. It was Peter Arnett broadcasting from a hotel in Baghdad for CNN. That was the most extraordinary moment of journalism I think I've seen in my life. That was something else. Watching that actually unfold. I mean, it was a moment in time that changed journalism, and I'm sorry to say I don't think journalism will ever be that good again. With the amount of voices that are in the room who are unqualified and come with bias and agenda, but this, I think he's from New Zealand. Peter Arnett just had one of the all-time broadcasts in the history of journalistic broadcasts that night.
Can I say this? And this is a horrible dearth against newscasters everywhere. I think for my lifetime, the most important or most memorable piece of news that was ever brought into my living room was Obama with the cut in to, we have just undertaken.
We got him.
And we got Osama bin Laden. I think that piece of news delivered by Obama about bin Laden will be the singular news that I will remember and delivered by who it was delivered by.
It came with a modicum of dignity that met the moment. It wasn't about, he died like a dog.
No. It was, but that, again, yes, newscasters there are incredible newscasters that I respect tremendously, but the idea that it was Obama bringing that into your living room was staggering.
I remember exactly where I was.
Oh,
I was
do
eating
too.
a bowl of ramen at Genki Ramen on Geary in San Francisco, and they had that up on the TV, and it was like, holy shit, wow, how about that? Then I think I called you. I was like, is your brother okay?
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, that is the nickname for my brother with the dreadlocks back then, yes.
Finally, look, Gizmo Maltese comes in. What do you think of the 49ers secondary? I think they better be up to the challenge. I think that they are. I think that Upton Stout, Diamador Lenore, now you're getting obviously Malik Mustafa's there. Renardo Green has been picked on all year, but Marquise Siegel coming in, I think makes them even better against the pass than Jair Brown made them. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the game. Again, one more time, everybody, please join me for the live stream watch party coming up Saturday. I'll be starting at 5:00 West Coast time. Hope you can join me. Sammy, thank you for joining me once again. This was fantastic. Co-streaming on both of our channels. Everybody go and give Sammy some love right now over on Thinking Out Loud, Siciliano and Sam. Go ahead and pound that like button on his end and that subscribe button as well. My brother, thank you. We'll do it again next week.
I can't wait, Damon. This is my highlight of the week each and every week. We're on Instagram Live today as well. So thanks for everyone that's in there with us for that one. But it's my favorite weekend, really. From a football standpoint, my favorite is Divisional Saturday and Sunday.
And go Hoosiers. Sports don't build character. They reveal it. And like that, he's gone.